Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Here we are. After our bonus episode, it's been a few days, and we are back. We are taping this, I must admit, a little early because I have to head to New Hampshire this weekend on Thursday for shows in New Hampshire, which I want you people to come to because it's going to be 4 degrees, I read. 4 degrees in New Hampshire. And I'll be there just three shows, one Friday, 2 Saturday, at a brewery in New Hampshire. If you live there, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, it doesn't make any difference. So come to those shows. I'm flying into Logan Airport and then somehow getting to New Hampshire and looking forward to it. I'll be there. And we had the cover of the paper today, New York Post, is public enemy number 1. Tom Brady makes the Super Bowl again. I don't know if you watched him last night, but Tom Brady and the New England Patriots beat the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime to go to another Super Bowl. I believe it's their 9th Super Bowl with Tom Brady, and it's unbelievable. I mean, say what you want about the guy, whether you hate him or you love him. I've never seen a dominating sports figure quite like him. I think he's better than Tiger Woods. He's better than LeBron James. He's better than Michael Jordan. He's better than all these people. Yesterday we were having the argument, is he the greatest athlete of all time? And people are like, what about Roger Federer? And I was like, yeah, maybe that's an interesting argument. I mean, I don't know that much about tennis, but Roger Federer has dominated tennis over the past 10 years, so I guess it's the same thing. So yeah, there's your argument. Maybe Roger Federer is a better athlete. And people were saying in the little party I was at, they were saying it's more athletic to be a tennis player than it is to be a quarterback. And I'm not. Who knows? Anyway, it was crazy. If you watch the games, there was some controversy I feel bad for the people of New Orleans as the Saints had a really shitty call at the end of the game. Should have been a pass interference. It wasn't. And the L.A. Rams went on to win the game, and they will be playing in the Super Bowl against New England Patriots. L.A. Rams, New England Patriots. Here in L.A., safe to say, most of the people in Los Angeles, and they're going to hate me for saying this, they don't even know we have a team. Like, you could drive down the street right now and Alex and I can go talk to 5 people on this street and they would not know the LA Rams are not even, first of all, playing this city, and second of all, going to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So that's, I saw one of my friends, a comedian who's a New Orleans Saints fan, was posting a bunch of stuff on Instagram saying if the Saints had won, it would have been a party in the streets in New Orleans everywhere. And the same with like Boston's pretty good like that. And Kansas City probably would have won wild if the Chiefs had won. But here in Los Angeles, he was in like a Ralph's, which is our like shop, our grocery store. And the Rams had just won, and there's nobody, people just shopping. There's nobody at a bar going wild. Like, there's usually when these teams win, these cities just parties in the streets, but not here in Los Angeles. We don't care about really sports at all, except for the Lakers. We're really into the Lakers. As a matter of fact, Alex and I had done a show this weekend, Saturday night. We were in Beaumont, California, which Beaumont, California is, man, it is exactly what you'd think Beaumont, California would be. It is out. You might as well be in the middle of the fucking South.
It's Beaumont, Texas, too.
Yeah,
they're the same. They're interchangeable.
So we were out there doing a show, and they're very nice people. And we did like a sports bar out in Beaumont, run by a comedian friend of ours named Johnny Cardinale. And they had a Laker game on. And these people are just cheering at this Laker game that went into overtime, and Lakers aren't even doing that well, and LeBron James wasn't even playing because he's injured. But these people are freaking out over a Laker game. And this goes back to what we were talking about last week of toxic masculinity. Like, people just feel they need to cheer and scream and pound on the bar. If you're ever sitting and having a drink at the bar, and maybe your favorite song comes on the jukebox, maybe your favorite team scores a touchdown, maybe whatever you're watching in the bar you're interested in, don't bang on the fucking bar. That when you do this here on the bar, it affects everyone sitting at the bar. Clap your hands above the bar. Don't bang the fucking bar, please. It's the worst thing in the world. Nothing angers me more except people who leave drawers open. And I think we all know how I feel about that. So that was the big story. I hate to bore you right off the bat with the sports stuff, but it is the biggest story was those games yesterday and the fact that Tom Brady is going to a 9th Super Bowl. And they have the halftime show is going to be, I saw some commercials for it yesterday. I guess it's going to be Maroon 5 and some special guests. Big Boy from Outkast, and it's going to be in Atlanta.
Oh, they got Outkast?
Well, they didn't get Outkast. They got Big Boy from Outkast. And they're saying now that because it's in Atlanta, I know you're being fucking sarcastic, Alex, but some people are into Outkast, I guess.
No, weren't they having trouble finding urban acts to fill the Super?
Yes, they were, but they wound up finding. Yeah, that's a good point. But they did find a few because it's going to be Big Boy and now because it's in Atlanta, I guess the hometown of Outkast, they're saying that there's going to be an Outkast reunion of Andre 3000 and Big Boy. And they're going to, do a reunion at the halftime show, which I guess that's great if you're into Outkast. And Outkast had some good songs. I can't say that I know them as well as I know, but I remember when the halftime show used to have to be somebody who had like an entire body of work. Not that Outkast doesn't, but back in the days where it was Prince who, had 100 songs you could choose from, or Tom Petty or U2 or Paul McCartney or Springsteen. Like that's when it was interesting to watch those acts. Like the old guys who had a ton of songs. Now it seems to be we have to get somebody. So it's going to be Maroon 5.
You already know the 2 songs you're going to get.
Yeah, right. I mean, Maroon 5 had a song that came out this summer that I fucking thought was the song of the summer. I loved it. Every bar I went into this summer was playing Girl Like You or something it was. And so, I'm sure it'll be fine. And, don't people half pay attention to it anyway? So that'll be in a couple of weeks. I think it's February 3rd, Super Bowl. What are you people doing? Where does everyone go on the Super Bowl? I'll probably attend a party February 3rd, Sunday. I was at Sarah Colonna's house yesterday with a bunch of my comedian friends. And there's nothing like hanging out with comedians. It's one of the reasons I love doing this job of comedian is because I get to hang out with other comedians. And we were all doing that yesterday, saying, just horribly inappropriate things as the game played. And, in the privacy of our own home, we can do that. And it was fun. So I had a great time there. More stories, a lot of stories, weirdly this morning, out of Taiwan. And you wouldn't think that would be the case, but there are 2 major stories coming from Taiwan today. And the Bikini Climber, I guess she is a famous bikini. She climbs on Instagram. She climbs very high mountains and peaks throughout Asia in a bikini. And she takes pictures of herself on them and puts them on her Instagram. She's become Instagram famous, the Bikini Climber. The Bikini Climber died yesterday. She climbed up. That's it. She climbs the top of high peaks, and she fell from one of them, and it was very cold, and she was stuck in a ravine, and they couldn't get her out because the weather was too bad. So she froze to death. So the Bikini Climber. That's what you get.
You died in the fashion we'd have expected.
Right. That's what you get when you decide, hey, I'm going to climb a mountain in a bikini. And there's an outside chance you might fall, and I guess she hurt a leg. A Taiwanese woman known as the Bikini Climber for scaling mountains in swimwear was found frozen dead after a 65-foot fall. Gigi Wu is her name. She's 36, and she was 8 days into her solo hike. Which first of all, I don't even go hiking. If I had my way, hiking, don't do it. It's fun when you do it like in LA. We have a place called Runyon Canyon, and everyone just goes on a Saturday afternoon and you walk basically through the woods. It's not very hard to do. But going like into deep forest and woods by yourself never ends well.
Was she in the bikini too?
I think she puts the bikini on just for the photo. I don't think she hikes in the bikini. I could be wrong.
Quit her.
Gigi Wu, 36, was 8 days into her solo hike Saturday when she called a friend and said she tumbled down a ravine in central Taiwan's Yushan Mountain and was unable to move because of a leg injury.
She had cell reception, but we couldn't get her?
I guess, yeah. I guess she had cell reception. Yeah, she called
Cell
somebody.
reception is better than Flight for Life now.
Yeah.
That's
so she had she was able to call somebody, and they couldn't get her because of the weather, and then she wound up freezing to death. So that's sad. If you follow the Bikini Climber on Instagram, she will no longer be posting anything because she's no longer with us. But now this is the second story out of Taiwan, and it's gross. And my apologies, but like I said, we're going to do this. We're going to read stories from cover to cover. And this happens to be on the second page of the New York Post today. And it's out of Taiwan. It's a flight attendant. It says an overweight passenger forced her to wipe his butt. An overweight passenger aboard a Taiwanese airliner forced flight attendants to remove his pants so he could use the toilet, then wipe his butt as he moaned in pleasure, according to reports. They have pictures of it and everything. I guess this guy's 470 pounds. He's in a wheelchair, white guy on a Taiwanese airline. And he told the flight attendants, you have to bring me to the bathroom because he's overweight. So they said, okay, we'll do that. You know, it's bad enough that we have to do that. So they bring this guy into the tiny little, you know, we've all been on airplanes, the tiny little bathroom, and they have to keep the door open because he's so heavy that they can't shut the door of the bathroom. So now he's shitting on the little tiny airline toilet in full view of not only the flight attendants, but everybody aboard that flight. And the flight attendant, he threatened to shit on the floor if the flight attendants didn't put him in the bathroom. They did. Then he said, now I'm done, basically like a child. He said, I'm finished. Now you need to come in and wipe my ass. To the flight attendants, the poor women working on this flight. He told them, they said, we couldn't help you. He started yelling. Then the one flight attendant who should win some sort of medal of, if you give away medals of like greatest employee of all time, this woman should win it because she went and put on rubber gloves and went in and wiped this man's ass, this 470-pound man's ass. And he moaned in pleasure as she was doing it, like basically saying, get in there deeper. She said, deeper, deeper, and then accused the chief of not properly cleaning his backside and requesting that she do it again. She pulled his pants back up, and this said flight attendants are not allowed to refuse requests they consider inappropriate, and that it is preferred to offer assistance if needed.
This was an American guy?
It seems like an American guy. Yeah, they don't have his name here. The union urged the airline to establish standard operation procedures, including making sure that the disabled passenger is accompanied by a caretaker when they fly together. So
customer service is officially done.
Well, I think that's amazing customer service. That that's above and beyond as far as I'm concerned.
Well, if it hasn't the precedent been set, now people are going to try to do that to some like 22-year-old girl from Dallas who's a flight attendant. She's going to say, hell no.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that, Those are two Taiwanese stories. I never thought I would actually have two Taiwanese stories for you, but there you are. The next thing I want to talk about is a little off book here, and it's a thing we have in Los Angeles that's becoming. First of all, before we get to that, let's talk about the Indian chief or whatever he was. He was an Indian man, American Indian in Washington, D.C., who was protesting out in front of the White House, and it went viral. When a bunch of kids, 15-year-old, 16-year-old kids from a high school wearing Make America Great Again hats, and they were kind of getting in this guy's way. Whether you believe that or not, now people are arguing about the video. He was getting in their way. They were getting in his way. There were other people yelling. He's got to watch the whole video. But this is what we've come to in America now. Everybody's got to argue about everything. In the end, whether you're they were like dicky kids being an asshole to a fucking old Indian Vietnam vet who just wanted to bang a drum and protest whatever he was protesting at the time in Washington, D.C. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C. and gone to the White House, out in front of the White House, there's protests of every kind. There's 10,000 people protesting all sorts of different things. There's one guy protesting just a complete craziness, like they didn't put enough cheese on my Big Mac at McDonald's. Like these are the things people are protesting out in front of the White House. So whatever this guy was protesting, maybe, I don't know what it was. I should read up on it. But these kids got in his way. And the one kid who's caught in the video, he's just like smugly staring at this this older Indian man who's banging a drum the entire time. It's a tribal song, I guess, that he does. And the kid just looks like a dick. He looks like a 16-year-old fucking dick who is from, I think they're from Kentucky, these kids, or something like that. But here's the most fucked up part of the story. The reason why these kids were there, these 15-year-old and 16-year-olds, they were on a school field trip from a Catholic high school in, I believe it's Kentucky. And the school field trip was to protest out front of the White House anti-abortion. Like, that's the weirdest fucking field trip I've ever heard. Like, why have that in a high school or make a bunch of kids go to D.C. to protest anti-abortion? Whether you're for abortion or against it, it just seems weird to me that you're taking all these children, who at that point they are 15, to D.C. to protest anti-abortion. That's like college, I get, but high school? That's a fucking high school field trip to D.C.?
I always felt like high schools were supposed to kind of be nonpartisan. You know,
well, it is a Catholic high school, so maybe that's a little different. But even still, I mean, all my friends went to Catholic high school. I didn't, but all my friends on Long Island did. And I don't think that's something you would go and do at a. So that's what they were there for. They were there to protest. So what had happened was, I guess they were, according to this kid's mother. Now you can kind of understand how this kid wound up the way he is, because his mother said the reason why he was angry in the first place and getting in the way of this elder American Indian guy is because he was being yelled at earlier that day by black Muslims. The black Muslims were yelling at these kids, and they were upset. And I guess this is all captured on video, and I probably should have watched more of the video, but I just chose to watch the portion that I saw online, and it was this kid standing in the way of this American Indian. But of course, now people are screaming that he's the kid, the 16-year-old kid's a hero for, not punching this Indian guy. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this country?
Wait, the Catholic people are allowed to just punch the elderly? I should have went to Catholics.
All right, Alex, just relax.
Yeah, okay,
relax.
sorry.
He's doing his jokes again, people, and that's what we try to stop him from doing his jokes.
Sorry.
All right?
Sorry.
Just you talk about the story.
Okay.
And if you have contributions to the story, you do contribute to the story.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Fair.
I understand you love your jokes. You love to get those in there. But
it's more of just pointing out that it's ridiculous.
It is. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we've gotten to the point where nobody can be 100% against anything. Everybody's got to be like, oh, you got to look at both sides of the story. And in the case of this, here's the deal. The man is an 80-year-old American Indian who's probably been through hell in his life because of all the reasons why American Indians have been through hell in their lives. He went to Vietnam. Let the fucking guy bang his drum in front of the White House. Why do we have to now say this kid in a fucking Make America Great Again hat? And I don't have any problem with Making America Great Again hats. I get it. Some people wear them ironically and it's a joke, and some people wear them because they love the president. And I don't have any problem with it. I know a lot of people. I read actually, when you read these stories online, they give you other stories underneath that have kind of like, if you're interested in that story, here's another story you might be interested in. And it was a guy. I mean, this is the most white trash story I've ever. The headline couldn't be more white trash. A guy is suing because he was kicked out of a vape shop for wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Everything in that headline says to me, the white trash fucking America. This kid couldn't wear his Make America Great Again hat into the vape shop and get his vape, whatever cotton candy fucking vape gel he wanted. But I like the fact that the kid who was running the vape shop finally put his foot down. He was just like, he must see a lot of shit in that vape shop. And he's like, no Make America Great Again hats. You get the fuck out of here. So he was laying down the law on that. But anyways, that's the story on that. I just thought the whole thing was weird. The fact that these kids were on a school field trip to go protest anti-abortion in D.C. What is happening in these Catholic high schools listen, Catholic people, you got enough problems. I'm Catholic, but forget anti-abortion. I know people have their issues with it, whatever the case may be, and I'm not getting into a pro-life situation on this podcast. But you got other problems, the Catholic Church. There's a lot of fucking problems right now. I think instead of sending these kids to D.C. to, punch out this poor Indian fella, just keep the boys away from the priests. These good-looking kid. He was a good-looking kid, a handsome kid. I'm sure the teachers probably loved this fucking kid. Anyway, that's the situation on that. It's just another thing. Every week we seem to have one where everybody gets on Facebook and screams at each other. And this was this week's where he was an amazing child who should be out there doing what he does. And if he wants to protest anti-abortion. My school field trip, I remember we went to first of all, we went to the planetarium. Was one. We always go to the planetarium and watch a laser light show, which was, later on in like 10th grade, you'd go watch Pink Floyd, Laserlight, Laserium, whatever. And back before like the dawn of computers and iPads, this was cool to just watch bright lights skip around the ceiling of the planetarium. And that's what we did. Then as young children, we would go to like the game farm. We had a thing called the Long Island Game Farm, and that would be our school field trip. We'd go to the game farm. Now the game farm, if you don't know, is a zoo. But it's not a zoo because it's got shitty animals. It doesn't have lions and elephants. It has chickens and goats. So you pull up to the game farm and you could feed the chickens or the goats. And it's terrifying because it's run by a couple of meth head kids who are out there selling you feed and then they'll tell you before you go into like the goat cage. And you're fucking 5 or 6 years old. So you're already terrified of a goat. I don't care. A goat can be a scary thing because it's a wild animal and it can kick and it could bite and it could do whatever it does. So you get a little feed for whatever, $4 or whatever from the methed out guy who works the feed counter. And then you get to go into the goat cage and you get to feed the goats. But not before you get a warning from the methed out guy who says, hey kids, enjoy yourself in there feeding the goats, but make sure you keep your hand completely flat with the feed on the palm of your hand. Because if you curl your fingers in the least little bit, the goat will bite off your fingers. So if you weren't terrified enough as a 5-year-old going in to feed the goat, now you have the added bonus of thinking, I got to keep my fingers perfectly flat or this goat will chew off my fingers. And I'm going to need my fingers later in life for things like, just things that you need fingers for. Anyway, so that was terrifying. And then as we would take the school bus there, one of the school teachers, I remember, like, you looking back on your elementary school teachers and your high school teachers, you realize how dumb some of your teachers were. But then you're like, I guess they were dumb because they were like 24-year-old people, making no money. And how they got this job, especially back in when I was going to school, I don't even know if they had the background checks they have now on school teachers. So these people just had to pass some test to become a teacher, and they were dumb as shit. So we're driving out on a school bus on the Long Island Expressway out to the Long Island Game Farm. And we're all 5 and 6. And there's llamas at this game farm. Not only chickens and goats, they have one llama. That was the big attraction. Like, you see the chickens, you see the goats, then it's time to go to the llama cage. And you're like, this is big time. This is like the closer. This is the headliner, is the llama. So we're driving on the bus and the school teacher stands up in front of 50 kids. And he says, listen, children, there's a llama at this game farm. And he goes, don't spit at the llama, because if you spit on the llama will spit back. Now, up until this point, there was not one child on that bus who was thinking of spitting on the llama. It's just not something that comes up. Nobody thinks of, I'm going to spit on that llama. But now that the teacher mentioned it, all any kid is thinking about is, I'm going to go spit on that llama. So sure enough, we all, after feeding the goats and petting the chickens, we get to the llama cage, and every kid tries to spit on the llama, and the llama did spit back. The llama was, very angry at 6-year-old spitting on him, and he had spat back on a few people. Not me. I didn't get hit by the spit, but Richie Parola got hit by the spit. And Richie Parola was a kid who didn't need to be hit by spit. He had already had a tough lot in life. He was a crooked eye. He got dragged out. No, he did. He was like he was one of those kids who's having, you don't realize this at the time when you're in school with kids. You just think we're all 6 and we're all having a normal life. But looking back on Richie Parola's life, he was like, one of the kids who got the free lunch, and he had, welfare shit, and he had, a tough lot in life. He was the kid who got dragged out for head lice when they did the head lice check. He got dragged out for head lice. Then like a month later, got dragged out after the scoliosis test when they bent everyone over to see if their back was curved. Richie Parola got dragged out for both. So head lice and scoliosis, which that's a shitty day for a poor guy who already had a crooked eye and was spat on by a llama. So anyway, I don't know how we went down that road. But that's what we did for a school field trip is what I'm saying. We didn't go to D.C. to protest anti-abortion. And I had friends who went to Catholic schools, and which was weird because we had a Catholic school down the street from our house. I'm sorry I'm going off on tangents this time because honestly, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have a chance to read fully the paper today because we were watching the games last night till very late at my friend's house. And then we drank and we were up till very late. And I woke up this morning and I kind of had to run right down here because we're doing another thing after this, Alex and myself. And so I wasn't quite prepared. So I did read the 2 quick Taiwanese stories about the woman who fell in her bikini and the man who shit his pants on the plane. But outside of that, there's not a ton of stories right now. There's the one that we just discussed, the Indian, and it's the football games. Otherwise, it's one of those weeks where we used to go through this on Chelsea Lately all the time, where like it's just a fucking slow news day. So here we go. So anyway, I'm able to tell my Long Island game farm story. And the fact that, I think it's weird that the high school field trip is going to talk about abortion in D.C. and screaming and yelling. But I had friends who went to Catholic elementary school, which was right down the street from my house in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. It was called St. Joseph's Church, which I just read is closing up. The Catholic school in that church, so it was attached to the St. Joseph's Church, the school, and it's closing up because there's no kids are going to Catholic school anymore because of whatever reason, so they have to close this elementary school. But I would go down there as a child with my friends who went to the school on weekends, and at this point, I knew nothing about perverted priests and even anything about that. I didn't know about it. But we would go down, looking back on it, we would ride our bikes down to the school and we'd go into the gymnasium, and there was a priest in the gym who would do workouts with us. We were probably all 9, 10, and he would do a Saturday workout session with the kids. Me and like 4 of my friends would go down, and he didn't even have like proper weights. He didn't have like a real gym. He just put this shit together himself. So I'm not fucking around. This is a true story. We would just like sit there and lift up like 2x4s and bench press them over our heads. And then he would judge. He would judge who has the bigger muscles of me and my friends. This is fucking, like, telling it now is like, this is fucking crazy. So we would work out in front of the priest, and we were in clothes. We're not like naked.
Shirts and skins.
Yeah, but then it got to that point where he was like, let me see who's got bigger muscles. And we would take off, because we just were naive. We would take off our shirts and like pop, do like the poses. Flex. And I never won, which I was upset about. Like I used to drive home going, I think I have better calves than who was the kid who always won? Fuck, I forget his name. Joe Figueroa something. He always won best calves and best biceps. And I didn't.
It was calves and biceps.
Calves and biceps. Those were the priest's 2 favorite things. And honestly, to this day, I think you should work on both calves and biceps. I don't disagree with the priest on that one. They are 2 good muscles to have, because you see them more prominently than you do any other muscle.
The shirt sleeves.
Yeah, just if you're wearing a shirt sleeve and shorts, those are the 2 muscles to work on. So the priest did have a good point there, but he probably shouldn't have been judging a bunch of 9-year-olds.
We learned a lot from that priest.
He probably shouldn't have been judging a bunch of 9-year-olds' calves, but he was. So it never got beyond that. I can't say that it got to the point where he was like looking at our dicks or anything. He just would have us work out for him with 2x4s and then show our muscles, and then we would just drive home and had thought nothing of it. So that's the Catholic school. I didn't go to Catholic school. I went to a private school where we didn't have that kind of shit. We just learned nothing. We learned about the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, which were the 3 boats Christopher Columbus sailed upon. And other than that, I don't remember one damn thing I learned in school outside of
calf raising.
Yeah, and I probably learned more about how to work out my calves on a Saturday at St. Joseph's Elementary School than I did in 12 years of public school in Connecticut High School in Long Island, New York. Anyway. What else can we talk about? Alex, we talked about our show the other night. We have other shows coming up, not Alex and I, but come out to the live shows. Go to franjola.com. I have a ton coming up in February. I'm in a bunch of cities. And I know you people keep writing me and come here, come there, come here, come there. And I'll go anywhere. I really will. I will go anywhere if you people show up. I was just in Rochester, New York, and people showed up. So the guy called me. It's like, we can't wait to have you back. We want you back in 9 months. That's how it works. If you people don't show up, then we don't come back to the city. It's that simple. If you people decide, hey, I'm going to go to a comedy club once this year. I'm going to go see Jeremy Piven. And I'm going to pay double the price that I would pay to see Chris Franjola, because this fucking guy was on Entourage for 6 years, and I saw him on Entourage, so I have to go see him in person now because he was on Entourage. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to go, you're going to pay your money, and you're going to watch shit fucking comedy for a half hour. After a weekend, he treated the entire staff like complete shit for a weekend. He yelled. I hear this at every comedy club I go to. He screamed at waitresses. He screamed at the manager. He screamed at everybody. He demanded this. He demanded that. And then he goes on stage and eats shit for a half hour. But it's packed because you people will spend money to go see a guy who was the fifth lead on Entourage, but you won't come see me, who's fucking gives you a solid hour of material that's fucking amazing, and you'll walk out and go, man, what a night, half the price of Jeremy Piven. But everybody posts pictures, I went to see Jeremy Piven, and it's a terrible night of comedy, and if you continue to do that, then we don't get to perform in those cities anymore, and I have to go to real shithole cities where people will come out because Jeremy Piven won't go there. So there you go. All right?
There you go.
Keep going to see Jeremy Piven. Keep going. Enjoy it. Enjoy Jeremy Piven. He's not coming back. If he gets another job on a TV show or a movie, which he probably won't, the only reason he's doing comedy.
Rush Hour 4 comes out, you're going to lose Jeremy Piven.
It's funny you mention that because at this place I was just at, he was talking about how he has he's got a buddy picture idea with him and Pauly Shore. So there you go, people. You're funding a Pauly Shore, Jeremy Piven buddy picture that they're going to do. And once this Jeremy Piven gets any type of success back in Hollywood again, which whether he will or he won't, he's done with stand-up.
He's going to theaters.
Let me finish. Sorry. The only reason he's doing it is because he is trying to get money that Hollywood won't give him anymore. So he's going to comedy clubs, and we have accepted him. I don't know why in this comedy world, and you people go see him, and it angers me. So I'm sorry I went down that road. Go ahead, Alex. What were you going to say?
And then he starts doing theaters, and then 2000.
No, he's not going to do theater. He's not going to do theaters.
He's going to blow up after he and Pauly Shore do a movie. He's theater famous.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the situation on that. I will come wherever you want. Listen to me. If I pay my flight after my flight and my hotel room, if I make $500 in the city I'm in, $600, whatever, I'll play in your fucking living room. And I'm not kidding. I've done it before. I've played in people's living rooms. They hire me to play in their backyard at a barbecue, and I will do it. I will do it if in the end I walk away with $500-600, makes it worth my time to go play in your backyard. I'll do it. See if Jeremy Piven will do that. See if Jeremy Piven will come and play in your fucking backyard. Go ahead, post your pictures on the Facebook page of you and Jeremy Piven, how you went and stayed in the line and probably paid $25 more to meet him, and then he hit on your girlfriend while you sat there and took a picture with Jeremy Piven because he was in Entourage. No, it's happened. I've seen it happen.
I know it. I've worked in road clubs and in showcase clubs. I've seen them. You're right. I have a question about comics. Do you know who Francis Cronin is? You know Frank Cronin?
See, Alex, let's not go down some open mic comic.
No, he's not an open micer.
Yes, he is. Because I know every single person in the comedy world, and I've never heard of Frank Cronin.
Okay, so it's a story. He's been featured on the news. Okay.
Tell me, you got to give me a short version
He's
of this
walking
story.
From San Francisco to Los Angeles.
Don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
This is what Alex and his friends, this means something. I guess he's got cancer or something. He's raising money. Frank Cronin?
Well, he's raising awareness for homelessness, but...
Awareness for homelessness?
Yeah,
what?
He's sleeping on the streets. He's been over a month.
Christ. Why doesn't he just go? No, we're not talking about it. Awareness for homelessness is just to drive down the street to be aware of homelessness. I don't need Frank Cronin to walk to San Francisco to aware me of homelessness. I'm well aware. They're shitting on the fucking sidewalk as we speak right now. Where's Frank Cronin? Hope he doesn't step in it on his way up to San Francisco. All right. What are we on now? I'm sorry, everybody, that we're.
I was trying to insert conversation. You seemed like you're running thin on news.
But what happened? No, we're on for what I could run fucking completely out of news, and I'm not going to talk about Frank Cronin to walk to San Francisco.
Okay.
However, I will say this. A lot of people did know the sex education woman that you were talking about last week that I did not know. A lot of people said I used to watch that show. So my apologies to you,
I feel
Alex.
vindicated now.
You are vindicated. There was a lot of people who said I knew who that woman was. The government is still shut down. And now it's getting a little crazy because there's an app, with another news story, that is a food stamp app where people can get food stamps, I guess, through this app. And I guess last night, the food stamp, because it's Monday again, so the food stamp app completely was blown up and crashed because now all these poor people who work for the government can't afford food, so they have to get food stamps. So the food stamp app crashed last night. I don't know what food stamps are. I really don't. Is it just discounted food? I've heard about them my whole life, food stamps, but I don't know. I guess you just get a discount on certain products. Are you familiar with food stamps?
No, I'm not.
No.
I know that nowadays. I thought they used a card. I thought.
Well, I think it is. I don't think it's an actual stamp, but yeah, it seems to be an app or something.
Now it's
like
an
that.
app.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Anyway, so that's the latest on that. I also read, and nothing makes me not just angry is not the right word. It just makes me sad that Danielle Bergoglio. Now, for those of you who don't know who Danielle Bergoglio is, a couple of years ago, she went on the Dr. Phil show and she went, "Cash me outside. How about that?" That was it. It was from one little thing she screamed at an audience member from the Dr. Phil show. "Catch me outside. How about that?" And I think what she was saying was, "Catch me outside. How about that?" Like she was arguing with the person in the audience and she said, "I will fight you." Basically what she was trying to say is, "I will fight you outside after the show's over. Why don't you catch me outside?" Everyone thought she said, "Cash me outside," whatever the case may be. That's an argument for another day. Catch me outside about that. She's since gone on to be kind of like just famous for being famous. You know, she's like a 16-year-old girl with kind of big tits, and she just screams on TMZ when she's leaving clubs. And I don't even know how she's getting into clubs, but they always seem to have her coming out of clubs. And I think she's like 16 years old. And she's just a punk kid with like real giant nails. And she's just screams like a white girl who talks like a black girl. And she just screams and yells. And I guess she had signed some big music deal, I had read. Whether this is bullshit or not, I don't know. She'd signed a multi-million-dollar music contract, which who the fuck is going out and buying the Danielle Bergoglio single or whatever she's dropping? You know,
Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven, that little fuck is ruining my life. But so anyway, this Danielle Bergoglio, now I'm reading that she signed a giant like cosmetics contract. Danielle Bergoglio signed a fucking huge like a makeup like $1 million makeup contract. That's crazy. Okay, let me try and find the story. Cash Me Outside girl debuts new unnaturally white. Oh no, she got $40,000 television. Sorry, teeth. She got $40,000 teeth, and this is a new thing that everyone is doing. They're getting big giant teeth in their face, big giant white fake teeth. And apparently, this girl just did it, and you can see in the pictures. It's obviously, and she's also 15 years old, so. Your teeth are going to change over time, but she's now got big giant white. Okay, here it is. She did. She's on makeup company sells $500,000 first day endorsement deal for this girl. Yeah, she signed a $1 million endorsement deal with Copycat Beauty, a makeup company that sells cheap of the beauty industry's most popular products. And according to TMZ, on the first day Bergoglio began her contractual promotion, Copycat raked in more than $500,000 in sales, in addition to receiving 500,000 hits on their site.
How many followers does she have?
She's got like 12 million followers on Instagram. So if any of you people follow the Cash Me Outside girl, you have to just tell me what the fuck is wrong with you. Like, what is this girl do? Goes back to this kid who's screaming in front of the older Indian gentleman. This girl, like, what is happening? Why are we just? And maybe I'm just a cranky old man. As you can see, I am a little bit today because I was screaming at Alex about bringing up some kid who was walking to San Francisco. But why are we rewarding this fucking dumb ass girl?
Is it
Danielle
squeaky
Bergoglio?
Wheel gets the grease?
I know, because there's a lot of squeaky wheels out there. This girl's getting more grease than most squeaky wheels should get, and it's
probably also not turning much. I mean, not a very good wheel. She's not doing anything. Sorry.
Alex. Alex is really getting comfortable these past couple of weeks, and he's really starting to, get real comfortable. So this is what she does. I guess it's like knockoff. Her debut album. Excuse me, everyone. This talks about her album here. The rapper recently collaborated with Tony Lanez on her track "Babyface Savage," which sets the tone of Bobby's music. I have no idea. That sentence I just read makes absolutely no sense to me. Does any of that make sense to you, Alex?
Yeah, she's a rapper. Now it all makes sense.
Do you know who Tory Lanez is?
I don't.
Okay. Her song is called "Babyface Savage," which sets the tone for Bobby's. Is that her name? Does she just call herself Bobby? BHABIES, which is going into 2019. In 2018, she released her debut album, 15, after her single, Hi Bitch, was certified gold. Okay. So she has a song called So she has a song called "Hi Bitch," and the bitch is spelled B-I-C-H, no T, and so enough people bought it to make it a gold record, which is I think 100,000 sales or something. So that's a lot. If any of you people bought "Hi Bitch" and you have it on your iPad or however you listen to your music on Spotify, and you're listening to "Hi Bitch," if there's ever been a time in your life where you listened to "Hi Bitch" from the beginning to end, if you were driving, if you were working out and "Hi Bitch" came on and you listened from beginning to end, I need you now to delete cover to cover from your phone and never listen to this again, because that you have to be punished, and that's my punishment.
Our whole
It's all I can do. It's all I can do to punish you is say you can no longer listen to cover if you have listened to "Hi Bitch" from beginning to end, from Danielle Bergoglio, who is the Cash Me Outside girl, who's still going. Like we all see these, "Hi Cash Me Outside." You thought, oh, this will be fun, and it was fun. I watched the video 1,000 times, and it was fun to watch this girl. But then I was like, it's over. A week later, I don't think. But it's still going. This is 3 years, 4 years now, and she's making millions of dollars. And she doesn't look bad in this cosmetic picture. She looks like every, angry fucking young Italian or Latino, whatever she is, girl.
She doesn't look good in that picture either, though.
But she looks good for a girl. Okay, say you're a 15-year-old girl who's wants to buy shitty purple eyeliner.
Yeah.
You're going to look at that for $4.99. I'll buy that. And compare it to Stila, which I guess is the expensive one, Stila. This is like a knockoff one, and that's what she does. "Hi Bitch."
Man.
How does "Hi Bitch" go? Anybody know the song? "Hi Bitch, hi Bitch." I don't know how it goes. Anyway, so that's Danielle Bergoglio.
I've read I need to do more research on this. Do you want me to pull up some?
Yes, I would like you to pull up fucking "Hi Bitch" right now as I go on to my next story. There's a thing in Los Angeles, and it was something I was thinking about as I was reading about the kids who were sent to Washington D.C. to talk about abortions and just like is this it?
This is the ad, but
and just to talk about religion a little bit, and whether you're into it or not, I don't know. Is this "Hi Bitch"?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Bad Baby. Oh, that's what she called. That's her rap name, Bad Baby. Oh, this is like a video that has like an intro to it. It's like, oh, that's her. Well, she is an attractive girl, I guess. Oh my God! And now I'm as guilty as everyone else. I'm watching the Bad Bitch video with Alex. Oh, here it is. Turn it up. You bought it at a kiosk. Oh my God! Hey, you know what I have to say? "Hi Bitch" wasn't that bad.
The production value.
Yeah, it was not bad at all. I wanted to hate it. The video looks pretty good too. I wanted to hate it. Now you know what? I take back everything I said about Danielle Bergoglio. She's amazing. "Hi Bitch" is a pretty good song.
if she wants to be on cover to cover, just
yes, please come and be a guest on cover to cover. "Hi Bitch." Oh my God, that's pretty great. That was fun. All right. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about is there's a thing here in Los Angeles. I started following one of these guys on Instagram, and I don't know anything about, but there's these churches here in Los Angeles. Do you know anything about this, Alex? Like these churches where they're not Catholic churches or they're not Protestant, they're not whatever, they're not Jewish temples. There's no. But it's like a hip guy who gets up and just like rants in front of these people about God and stuff. And he wears like skinny jeans. And there's a few of them. There's not just one. There's like 3 of them in Los Angeles. And I forget the name of the actual churches. And they're all attended by like hip young actors and actresses here in Los Angeles. Every guy's wearing like those bolero hats, like the flat brimmed hat. Every guy's got, his pants rolled up, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with style, but they're all going to these churches on Sunday. Very attractive people, like real good looking women, real good looking men. They're going to these churches, and the guy who's like screaming and yelling up front is basically doing kind of like bad stand up, but with a theme of Jesus Christ. And these people are cracking up at every stupid fucking thing he says because they're, they don't know real stand-up. So.
Are these religious comedians or are they?
No. Well, and so I don't know if any comedian friends of mine go to it. I have a few friends who go to these churches, but they're just like hip actors. You know, they wear like the hat on the back of their head. Like Alex kind of wears a little bit like that, but you look good in it. But they wear like, you know, that like a beanie hat, like laid on the back. I don't even know how it stays
just
on.
like
I can't. It doesn't. I have to pull my hat like right down above my eyes, like I'm in a prison, because it will fall off my head if I lean it back any. But these guys are somehow managed to keep it on the back of their head, which is shocking to me. So anyway, they all go Sunday. There's like one in Hollywood and Highland, and it's crazy that they all follow these dudes. If you guys know the church I'm talking about, there's several of them. Look them up and put them on the Facebook page, and then I'll talk about it more.
Are you about to talk about Bieber? Is that where you're going?
Well, Bieber is in the one. Yes, Bieber's
That's
in one.
Creepy.
Yes,
That's
Bieber's.
creepy
I know,
stuff.
but that's the one I'm talking about. Like Bieber's in this whole world with these guys, and so is now the reason why I'm bringing it up is because so is another person who I've just been reading a lot about, who seems to have gone completely off the deep end, and it's Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt, who seemed like a very normal guy up until Hillsong is one of them. Yeah. And what is the guy who runs Hillsong? Do you know? He's like this hip looking character who
He's always shirtless.
Yeah, shirtless, and it's fucking weird. It's like it's a little culty for me.
Yeah.
And if any of you people are into this, my apologies. Maybe it is a good thing for people to get together and you know, just talk about being good and helping. But they all have like front row Laker seats.
But if you
and
Google
stuff.
Bieber's pastor, it will creep you out.
That's the guy I'm talking
creepy,
about. Yeah, it's creepy. So
is it Carl? No, is that?
That's the one dude. And there's another guy. Anyway, so Chris Pratt belongs to this one and he hangs out with this guy a bunch. That's how I wound up following this guy on Instagram, because I saw Chris Pratt post something about him, and I was like, I don't know what. I just pressed follow just because I thought it might be interesting, and now it's become a little annoying.
His is Hillsong also.
Yeah, Hillsong. Pratt's is?
Yeah, it's Chris Pratt, Hillsong Church.
Okay, so this is it. So this is what I'm talking about. So now Pratt, who's I guess become very religious over the last couple of months. He actually, so much so that he got up to at the Teen Choice Awards. He won a Teen Choice Award. First of all, he showed up at the Teen Choice Awards, which, as a big star, if you're Chris Pratt, you don't need to show up to the Teen Choice Awards. You don't. I have a Teen Choice Award. I've actually won a Teen Choice Award. We won Best Late Night Talk Show about 6 years ago for Chelsea Lately, and we never even received our award. We were supposed to get a surfboard, and we never got it. So I'm not bragging, but I have a Teen Choice Award. So as a writer of Chelsea Lately, when we won Best Late Night Talk Show, I guess a bunch of 14-year-old girls voted, and we won over like Jimmy Fallon. So there you have it. So Chris Pratt went up on.
It would have been a hard loss. That would have hurt.
It would have hurt. Well, we never got our surfboard. We never got anything. Anyway, they. So Chris Pratt went up and won Best Actor or whatever for Jurassic Park and what's the other movie he does, Guardians of the Galaxy, and he went up and he made like a real holy roller speech, like God is good and God is this and God is that, and anytime you see that, you're like, oh boy, something's up here. Pratt's gone off the deep end. Then the divorce happened from Anna Faris. Then there was some drinking rumors or stop drinking. That's usually when you have to go to one of these churches because you've been doing some shit and you need the church to get you off drinking. And if that works, more power to you. If it stops you from drinking. Then this Chris Pratt goes and gets engaged last week to Katherine Schwarzenegger, Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, who actually I've met a few times. She's good friends with a friend of mine, Brad Wallach, and so she's a sweet girl. Chris Pratt gets engaged to her not 6 months after he's divorced from Anna Faris. And he starts posting like crazy on Instagram about his engagement to Katherine Schwarzenegger. Now, this is what I was trying to get at. If you're a normal person, which Chris Pratt doesn't seem to be normal, because if you're a normal person, you've already gone through a divorce and from Anna Faris, you think, hey, you know what? Let me just have a quiet engagement here to Katherine Schwarzenegger, and I don't need to post it on Instagram. I'm just going to do a quiet. But no, Chris Pratt can't. Nobody can have a fucking quiet moment, like a nice personal life where it's personal. They have to immediately go on Instagram and say, oh, my life is amazing. Then now Anna Faris posts, hey, it's great. I hope they have a nice life together. Good luck to the both of them. No bad blood between us and Katherine Schwarzenegger and the whole bit. So I don't know what road I'm going down here. Chris Pratt seems to have gone a little insane because of this church that he goes to, which is what was it called again, Alex?
Hillsong.
Hillsong.
Song with a G at the end.
So if any of you people go to one of these hip churches where it's not a priest or a rabbi or like a black guy up there in a 6-button suit singing and dancing, Not one of those. It's one where a guy's wearing like he looks like he just came from like not an Abercrombie and Fitch, even higher end than that. Like he's got like a hip outfit on and not a suit. I mean he's wearing like what a guy would look like going into like a club on a Saturday in Hollywood, and he's up there talking about Jesus. And why are you young kids, good looking people, go when this church lets out on Sunday on the corner of I think it's Hollywood and Highland or Hollywood and Cahuenga. This church lets out. Look at how attractive all these people are, the women and the men. Why are you not home fucking each other? Why are you at a church listening to this guy do bad stand up and ruining Chris Pratt's career and Justin Bieber's career? Good looking people, you need to get out there and start fucking each other, because without you, there will be no good-looking people. See, we need you out there to have more good-looking people. If you're going to sit in that church and listen to that douchebag in skinny jeans talk about Jesus Christ, the world's going to be taken over by ugly people. And I need you to get out there and start fucking each other instead of sitting in a church and listening to this pastor or whatever he considers himself talk about Lord knows what. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up because I feel like I don't know if this was a good episode or a bad episode. We got a little off thing. We're a little rushed. We're a little rushed today.
Do you want to close with some other people who go there?
Yes. Oh my God. That's a great idea, Alex. Yes. Because this is what I want to know, because I know people who are not like famous who go there, but they're in this world. So Bieber and Pratt are two. Who else?
All the Jenners.
Oh, are they a part of that? I did not know
Kourtney
that.
Kardashian. This is according to refinery29.com.
That's all right. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take refinery29.com.
Nick Jonas, Selena Gomez.
Okay, so these are all those people.
Yeah, like they're all the hot people in Hollywood.
All the hot people in Hollywood. Now, Nick Jonas just married the Indian girl, right? Priyanka Chopra. Now, why aren't they out fucking each other? Priyanka Chopra, Nick Jonas, especially that girl, the one who's got a bad spleen or something. Selena Gomez. Didn't she just get a? No, she does. She just got her spleen removed, and one of her friends gave her spleen, which is a nice gesture. I don't know if it was a spleen. It's some innards of Selena Gomez's were bad. Anyway, so they all go to that, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe I should just sign up for this, but I'm too old. And they wouldn't take me.
It feels kind of like the next Illuminati to me. Like it feels.
Yeah.
There are too many. I don't know.
Now, is there an Illuminati? Is this thing for real, or is this just bullshit?
There's a Scientology, and that's kind of a.
But those people don't have any money. Like outside of the Tom Cruises and the Travoltas of the Scientology world, the other ones are a bunch of losers walking around Hollywood Boulevard at 3 o'clock in the morning in a captain's jacket. That's what those are Scientologists I see.
Yeah, but they also own a bunch of property, and they're like, it's like that's where these people are headed, right? I mean, they got that Nick Jonas money in their bag. If they're getting tithes from the Jonas Brothers.
Well, the Jonas Brothers always had some like a Christian faith. Yeah. They were like a faith-based band where they were out. Yeah. And I have no problem with that. If that gets you through the night, more power to these people. I hope that's, they're not out there causing trouble, I don't think. And they see all the people you mentioned seem like fine enough people. But I would rather have Selena Gomez out there doing like, making like Cinemax dirty movies that an old pervert like me can watch and not have her in this church, Get out there and make like that movie. She made a few, and then they kind of pulled her out of movies.
Was she a Disney kid originally?
I don't really know. Something like that. She was that. She had some sort of Disney past or Nickelodeon past or whatever. But anyway, I watched Selena Gomez one time. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyway,
you can catch her now at the Hillsong Church, everybody.
Yeah, I watched her make out with another big time actor one night at a party, and he's much older than her, much older, and it was fucking hot and creepy at the same time. And I watched like some fucking pervert over in the corner drinking an $9 Amstel Light. I just watched the two of them make out in the corner. Very exciting. I don't want to say who they were, but maybe next week I will.
That's your thing. You go to these big parties, you just stand in the corner,
and I just leer at people making out with each other. Yeah. Anyway, maybe next week I'll expose who the person was. I think it's been out there a little bit. I'm not breaking.
Probably the pastor of that church.
No, it wasn't. I'm not saying that he's not the type of guy to make out with a younger person, but this was not him.
If you're not familiar, just Google the guy. He never wears a shirt. He's creepy.
Yeah, and that's not the guy.
You wouldn't let your kids go Minnesota.
Right. But I'm talking about another guy. Like, I know the guy we're talking about. There's another guy, too, and I'll have his name next week. I'll do some more research on it. And anyway, I'm going to New Hampshire this week. Come and see. I hope you enjoyed this one. We're having a blast doing this podcast. Alex and I are really having fun. We're going to have some guests in the next couple of weeks. It's tough to get people to come to this studio we're in just because it's kind of hard to get to. And I know my friends are busy, and some people that we were thinking about having on are busy, and it's tough to get them down here during the week. But we will. I have a very, very big, giant guest who I used to work for many years who wants to come do the podcast, and it would be very exciting to talk with them, which we haven't sat down and talked for a long time. And I want to say she or he, but they want to do it, and so that could be coming up in the next couple of weeks. Will be fascinating. All right. I love you all. Thank you all for being so good on the Facebook page and listening to these the cover to cover theme song, which everyone seems to love. Keep playing it. Keep dancing to it. Send me videos of you dancing to the cover to cover theme song, and come out to the live shows. And one of these days we're going to get together and make all this work for us. And we're going to do live podcasts and all that stuff. We hope. Thanks again. I hope you have a good week. Enjoy your weekend and your Friday and your Thursday and all you have to do while you're listening